Hi, hello YouTube. I will look in here because this is where my computer is. Like I said the last time, hello TikTok. I am still figuring out my setup. As you can see, it has changed a little bit. Let me take this out of full screen. Okay, so that when people send a message on YouTube, I can see it. Hello, TikTok. Welcome everybody. Happy Monday. Some people say Happy Mindset Monday, and some people say Happy Money Monday. I think both of them would work, right? Today's topic, the captions are different on YouTube as well as on TikTok because TikTok doesn't allow us to write more than I think 100 or less words, right? So on TikTok, I said everyone is enlightened except you. That's basically the topic, right? Everyone is enlightened except you. And on YouTube, the caption is imagine that everyone is enlightened except you. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Pleasure to have you here. And as I always say, when I look this way, I'm looking at YouTube, and over here, I'm looking at TikTok. And if you see me looking on the side, this is where I have my computer connected so that if anybody writes a comment on YouTube, I can see it from my computer here. And we're still continuing the book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's all small stuff, right? And we are on chapter 11. This book is not sponsored. It's just a book that has helped me that I like. I actually found it at the thrift store and I liked the book, so I decided to make episodes of the book and share what I am learning. Now, in terms of the topic, imagine that everyone is enlightened except you. Or, as I said on TikTok, everyone is enlightened except you. Now, why I said it like that? Because this is something none of us want to do, myself included. None of us want to think about this. We don't want to talk about this, and we don't want to do this. Now, in the book, he said, a guy wrote the book, this strategy gives you a chance to practice something that is probably completely unacceptable to you. Why? Right? As the title suggests, the idea is to imagine that everyone you know and everyone you meet is perfectly enlightened. You go to the store and they are rude to you. Instead of being rude to them back, Mariama Faye Mungini, I'm so happy to see you after so many years. You look beautiful. Thank you. I've actually been going live for a while now. I've been back on social media for a very long time now. But recently I took a break because I was traveling and moving. And so I couldn't be live for the past how many months? Probably 3 months or so. But I've been going live for a while. But thank you. Glad you found me again. Right. So as I was saying, right, when you're going to get gas, fuel, however you call it, and the clerk, the yeah, what do I want to say? The customer representative, the cashier, the waiter, the waitress, anywhere you go, or even when you're driving out in the street, people are nasty to you, rude to you, mean to you. I get that a lot, right? There was a time I used to take it very personally. And I would also exercise my right to be angry at them because why not? Why would you talk to me like that? I used to think like that. I used to do that. But when I stopped doing that, that was before I even knew about this topic. I really stopped doing that. Way before I even had this book to teach me these skills. When I stopped doing that, I first had more peace in my life, right? When I just let whoever wants to be angry, I let them be angry. Whoever wants to be rude to me, I just say, okay. And of course, being on social media is another thing, whether you are recording videos, you are a content creator, or you're just someone who consumes content, who comment, who ask questions. We see that every day on social media as well, where people want to tell you that what you know is not true and their ideas are right. I have learned to just say, okay, in real life and on social media. Because on social media, I only share my own life experiences and things that I have been through. That's all I talk about, right? And even when I share them, people still tell me that I am wrong about my own experience and want to debate me. And I just say, okay, and then let it go. Why? Because I'm protecting myself and protecting my peace. Sometimes I listen to people talk to me. You have this in your own life and share with me in the comments, right? Let's talk about it. You have been through this in your own life. Let me continue here because there's a part that I wanted to talk about. The people you meet are all here to teach you something, which is very true. Good afternoon, Kine. Hi, Kine. Nice to see you. The people you meet are all here to teach you something. Perhaps the obnoxious driver or disrespectful teenager is here to teach you about patience. The punk rocker might be here to teach you to be less judgmental. That's another part. And we talked about this last week, right? There's a saying that we meet people for a reason or a season. Everybody you meet has something to teach you. Everybody you know has something for you. We don't meet people by a coincidence. There's even the saying that nothing is a coincidence, right? Everything is connected. If you're like me, you were not taught this, right? So I had to learn this as I grew up. So when you're able to look at things like that, everything that's happening right now in your life is not happening to you, it's teaching you a lesson. Every single person that you meet has something to teach you. Let me give you an example that's coming to mind now. There was a place I was at where I was living before I moved. And there was this guy who would usually just sit outside. Now, where I am from originally, we're used to sitting outside, so I never saw that as anything. So he would just he's constantly outside, sitting outside, but by himself, alone. And every time I walk past, I'll greet him and say hello. Sometimes he would have music playing. Now, maybe this was me judging him, but there were times where he didn't look like he was okay, as if there was something, a mental screw was missing. I don't want to say crazy because he's probably not, right? He might have some mental health issues beyond the normal ones, if depending on your idea of normal and how you define normal. And so I didn't think he was okay. But then one day, I have this tendency, when you dress in an African outfit in a certain way, it looks very Jamaican. It looks very Rastafarian. And so I love having my turban on and wearing long skirts. I'm wearing a very long skirt right now, these big skirts, and I love the military boots, which are also very Rastafarian. So on that day, the way I was dressed, even though to me I was dressing in an African fashion, it came off like a Rastafarian woman, right? the three tribes. He actually thought I was Nyabingi. Nyabingi is a Rastafarian group in Jamaica. And that opened him up. That touched something in him. And for hours, he just stood there and was asking me questions and was talking to me. And then he started talking about God. And he started, because Rastafarian are very religious, he started talking about and very conscious as well. I was blown away. And he started telling me how there were times where he didn't have money, right? But the universe brought him everything he need. He would walk outside and somebody will give him something, or he would just find something on the floor, or someplace he go, everything would just align. And I was like, I know what you are saying. I understand, and it happens. But now imagine if I was so, if I was feeling too proud, and not proud in a healthy way, but proud in a more toxic way, whatever that is. But I would hope you understand what I'm trying to explain, to the point where I don't give him the opportunity to actually talk to me as another human being. I would have missed out on that conversation, even though this guy, many a times, he's really irritated me. I'm just like, ugh, don't talk to me. So, this is what the topic is about, right? Imagine that everybody you meet is enlightened. Maybe you're meeting them at a very bad moment. Maybe you think they're stupid, which, if you live in America, I don't know about other races, let's put it like that. But I know in my own experience as a dark skinned woman, there's a lot of times where you meet people and they talk down at you. They talk to you like you are just dumb. There's very recently where I went off on someone where I was like, I understand the need to speak to me as if I am stupid or something, but I am not stupid. And if you don't have millions, or let's put it like this, if you don't have billions of dollars, they think you're even more stupid. And I had to go off on someone about that. But what I'm trying to say is that when you're able to open up yourself, where anybody you meet, whoever they are, you're able to listen, even if they're being rude to you. Because usually when the person is being rude at you or to you, it has nothing to do with you. It's always because of whatever they're going through in their lives. And at that very moment, you are just the victim. Let's put it like that. Or you're the person there who they can take it out on. There was a day I was going to the airport, I was taking a flight, and I called for a cab. This was in New York, so it's very easy to call for a cab. And I wanted to make an appointment with the cab to come pick me up at a certain time. So I called for a cab. The lady that picked up was very nasty. And no, I don't believe that being mean is a New York thing, even though a lot of people say that. I love New York. I've lived there for a while. And I know there are amazing people who live there. But this lady was so nasty on the phone. And this was the time that I've already understood this. So I just said, it's okay. I'm okay. I didn't fight back. I didn't scream back. She even hung up the phone, like as a customer, I called, right? She even hung up the phone on me. And I called back and said, ma'am, I wasn't done speaking, right? I need more information because I'm trying to make an appointment. And she said, yes, but you have to this. I said, well, this is my first time calling for a cab to make an appointment. So whatever else that I need to do, I don't know. And I heard him breathe, I heard her breathe. I'm sorry. It has just been a difficult morning. I know it has nothing to do with you, and I shouldn't act towards you like that. I'm sorry. I said, I understand. I know. I know it's early in the morning and I'm calling you and I don't know anything about the information. So I understand you being irritated. And I got the service that I needed and even extra. But imagine if I matched her energy. There are times people will say you have to match people's energy. And I will tell you never match somebody else's energy. If you go to the store, if you go to a restaurant and the waitress is rude, and it doesn't matter where you are, United States, United Kingdom, in Africa, in the Caribbean, wherever you go, just look at every single person you meet in your life as more enlightened as you. When they're rude, just say it. Okay. Of course, there are times that you have to stand up for yourself, which is knowing the balance, right? And knowing where your boundaries are being crossed and putting your foot down and saying, no, this is as much as I can take. From here on, I'm not taking anything. Healthy boundaries, right? Knowing where you stop. But it's a powerful, powerful, powerful thing. This is coming to mind. When you're able to alchemize things, negative energy, turn it into something positive. Transmutation, transmute negative energy into something positive. What I am doing now, recording these videos and talking about these issues, is alchemizing negative energy into something positive. I'm turning negative into the positive. Why? There's a lot of things in my life, the way that I was raised, situations that I have been through that were negative. I am turning it into positive by talking about it. I learned certain things, right? I had to learn about psychology. I had to learn about trauma, childhood trauma. I had to learn about healing and wellness. I had to understand all of these things. I had to learn Afrocentric consciousness, the good, the bad, and the idea that there's no good or bad. Understand these things and also look at it from the lens of my own life experience and change it into something positive to be able to sit here and talk about it. Because the things that I have been through, there are some other people who've went through it and they're not doing the work that I do. There's a saying that you can have two people, two siblings, born and raised in the same house, the same experiences, and they both turn out to be different, right? So let's do how many minutes? 18 minutes. We did good. Oh, I did good, right? Yeah. So here it says, your job is to try to determine what the people in your life are trying to teach you. Everybody is your teacher, and you're a student to everyone that you meet. But our ego, and I'm not saying ego in a bad way, because there's nothing good or bad, we want to feel like we know more. And normally, if you meet someone, from my experience, if you meet someone who, it can be oversharing, it can be over explaining, it can be people pleasing. But if you meet someone who is adamant of wanting you to understand that they know more and they have an advice and a solution for everything, that's the trauma in them speaking, right? That's the obsession with control, wanting control in their life. Why? Because their entire life have been out of control. They could not control anything in their life. I'm speaking from experience, from the people I've been around, the way that I was raised, and me having to let go that need to control every little thing, because everyone I've been around and every situation I've been in has just been completely out of control. And so I want to control everything. And so now when I see it in someone, I'm able to recognize it, that they are not doing it to me. It's teaching me something, right? Because there's this saying that what used to trigger you, if it doesn't trigger you anymore, it turns to wisdom. So some of the things that I talk about, somebody might say, oh, you are so wise, you're sharing wisdom, or you are a spiritual teacher. No, not really. These are just things that I went through, right? And now it doesn't trigger me anymore. Or some of them still trigger me, and I'm learning to let them go. But the more that I articulate myself and communicate it and talk about it, the less it triggers me. So that's sometimes where the wisdom comes from. I listen to Muji. I talk about him a lot. I am part of his community. I've been a part of his community for years now. And this is one thing that I learned from him, because the things that he talk about as well, it comes from his own life experiences and things that he went through from Jamaica all the way to London and then to India and now in Portugal. That's where he is. That's where his Sangha is. And he will talk about these issues, right? So wisdom usually comes from life experiences. Let's see. You will find that if you do this, you will be far less annoyed, bothered, and frustrated by the actions and imperfections of other people. Being on, now I have to learn that over and over. I am still learning that, to stay unbothered, to be in control of me, of myself. Because nobody's perfect. I am not perfect. Cannot look fat in this. There's nothing wrong with a fat person, but anyway, look full. I kind of like it. If my grandmother saw me, she wouldn't say that you need to eat more food. She wouldn't tell me you need to eat more food. How can you be in America and be so skinny still? But she passed. Anyway. So yeah, usually if you're annoyed with people and you get so frustrated, it's because you're letting them, you're giving them the power. How could I explain this? You're giving them the power, right? Because they can frustrate you or try to. Yep, that's Senegalese. Yeah, advice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can't go out of Africa and still be skinny. You need some meat on you. So this top is actually doing it. It's doing the work. Right? I look full and round. So letting people bother you, it's up to how you work on your own energy. I'm trying to find a word to use it. I'm trying to find a word to use it, because there are times where somebody can say something or do something and it doesn't do anything to you. You just like, who are you talking to? Me? Yeah. And brush it off. Thank you. And brush it off. But then there are certain people in your life or in certain situations where the moment they open their mouth, you are just ready to lose your mind. Those are your teachers. Those are the people that you shouldn't run away from. Of course, hold your distance, but also look at why those situations or those people bother you so much or frustrate you or anger you so much. Why? There's a reason. They are triggering something in you, whether you know it or not. There's something they are triggering in you. And this is where them teaching you comes from. The moment you say, I cannot stand that person, and I have a habit of saying that. But I've also learned whenever I say, I can't stand that person, I'd also think in myself, why do they trigger me so much? Why are they triggering me? And a tip that I can give you, something that I do. Every time I get into a situation that really frustrates me or annoys me, I will sit back and go online and look up what I am feeling, research the situation, how I reacted, how to stop reacting and respond, why I felt the way that I felt. I will look all of those up and I will spend time to study it and understand it. Not for other people, but for my own self. Why does it hurt me so much? There's a video that I love watching and it's by Shira7. Sprinkle, sprinkle for the girlies that watch Shira. And the video is on how to be as onboarded as me. And she has different videos of being onboarded, how to be onboarded, right? How to master your mind, master your emotions, because this topic is based on that. Imagine that everyone is enlightened except you. The moment you're able to master yourself, master your emotions, self mastery, emotional intelligence, you name it. If you're from the parts of the world that I am from and the type of family I came from, there was no talk, no teachings of emotional intelligence or self mastery. My mom can sneeze and then my uncle gets really, really angry. And then it's this heated issue going on at home and everybody's going crazy. And so if you see them in your life or you do them, it's something you can change. You have the power to change them. All right, I'm going to go. I have 2 more minutes. I mean, I have so much more to say, but I'm going to go. I'll be back in about 10 minutes or so because I used to do the card reads and I stopped them. But what happened was or is I do get requests for one-on-one requests to do the cards again. I have a Telegram group, and because I haven't been live for about 3 months, I get those requests to come back live again. And so I'll be back in a few minutes to do another 30 minutes of card reading. Now, when it comes to the card reading, I used to do that for myself. And then when I come live, I'll pick out one card. But then I had so much requests and so many people would ask for it. Now I offer the one-on-one, and then now I'm trying to find a way to set it up where it can be its own live, and both on YouTube as well as TikTok, I'll create playlists there. So, right. See you in a few minutes, and you can find me on all platforms. I am on all social media platforms, and we can connect, or the link in my bio. I have a Telegram group which is free. You can join that as well if you have any questions. It's a small community so far, and we don't have a lot of conversations, but when it comes to personal development, we share things together. So see you back in about 10 minutes. Give me 10 minutes. Let me move the setup a little bit and then I'll be back and we'll do the CAD reads. Right? See you soon. Thank you.